So one of the reasons we created Merman's Revenge was to show everyone and show the world how easy it is to cook delicious seafood at home. So in this video, I'm gonna show you a really simple recipe. It's hard to even really call it a recipe. It's really just how do you cook salmon in a frying pan. So let's get right into it. First, I'm gonna put my pan on the stove here. I'm gonna get the temperature kind of hot and then peel it back a little bit. Now, most people don't have temperature gauges or anything to know how hot your pan is. So the trick is you splash just a little bit of water on your pan, and if the water beads, and I call it dancing, dances around, that's how you know you have the perfect temperature. So we're gonna try that. Just enough water that you can get on your hand, put it on the pan. You see those beads dancing around there? That is perfect. We're gonna do a mix of olive oil and butter. And the reason we do this is the olive oil gives us a little bit higher of a smoke point, so it'll resist a little bit more of that hot temperature in the pan, and the butter gives us really tasty flavor. So I never measure exactly, but you know, maybe a quarter of an inch of a piece for butter. Drop it in there. It's good, it's melting down a little bit, not too fast. That looks really nice. And then while that's getting to know the pan, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil here, probably about a tablespoon. Once again, I never measure, I don't wanna take the fun away from it. And then once that's in there, you really want these two to get to know each other. So we're gonna give it a little move it around in the pan here. You can hear just a little sizzle. That's perfect. All right, I'm gonna make sure my stove here is now on about medium low. Don't want it too hot. You can always crank it back up if needed. So I have our salmon here. I'm gonna make sure that it is patted dry. Great. So I got that side dry. Draw it back. And this allows a nice crust to form. If it's wet on both sides, you don't get that crust. You kind of steam the outside, which is nice sometimes, but we really want a nice crust. I'm gonna lay it right there in the middle. We hear a little bit of a sizzle. All right, we're getting some nice bubbling going on there. Perfect. We're gonna give it just a little bit of a move around here, make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. You know, that's one of the nice things about using a stainless steel pan. You're gonna have butter, olive oil in here. You don't need to use non-stick pans. I know everyone's moving away from that, which isn't a bad thing. But whether it's stainless steel or porcelain or cast iron, it all works the same. And we'll have other videos that show you that. So while that's going in there, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Merman's Revenge salmon seasoning and apply pretty generously to the top here. Great flavor that's a little salty, a little sweet, very herbal. It has dill in it. It's a really, really tasty blend. So we're gonna get that on there. We're gonna make sure heat now is right at about medium. We can pick up the pace a little bit here. You can hear it sizzling. Yep, and that's really nice. And in just a minute or two here, we're gonna flip it over and get this seasoned side browned. All right, it's looking really good here. I'm gonna move it around just to make sure it's loose on the bottom there. And then we're gonna pick up a little bit of that seasoning that made it onto the pan. Looks really good. And then we're gonna go ahead and flip it. Now this side doesn't have the protection of the skin, so we gotta be a little bit more sensitive on that. I'm gonna let it go for about a minute here. All right, we've given it about a minute on the other side there. Once again, it doesn't have the skin on it, so we don't have that extra layer of heat protection. I'm gonna flip it over just to get a little peek. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. So while we have it up, I'm gonna just take the tongs here and just give the sides a little bit of a sear here. Doesn't need much. Just to brown it just a little bit. And then we're gonna do the other side here. I can get it up. Good. Perfect. And then we're gonna go back on the skin side down. And then what I wanna do is get a little of this butter oil mix kind of at the bottom here. I'm gonna take a spoonful, kind of layer this on top. Gonna cook it a little bit more. Keep it nice and juicy. And I know I said I don't measure anything, but what we are going to measure is the temperature. We want our final temperature to be at 145. And you know, one of the things with seafood where I think people get intimidated by it is it's really easy to overcook. You definitely don't want to undercook it for health reasons, and then you definitely don't want to overcook it for taste reasons. And it has a pretty narrow area where it tastes really good. So spend the $10 to $15, get yourself a kitchen thermometer that you can stick in, and that's really the key to nailing it every time. So we're gonna stick it in here. I'm gonna turn the heat down to low a little bit. So that's saying 112. So even though it looks good on the outside, it's not done yet. Let's just check the other side here. That side's pretty close. We're at 143. And let me just check this side one more time. We're at 140 there. So I'm gonna give it one more flip to this side. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the heat. We're getting a little bit of smoke. Definitely don't want anything to burn. And I think we'll give this about 30 more seconds here. I'm gonna flip it over, squeeze a little fresh lemon on it, and then we're gonna plate it. And it's gonna be just perfect. All right, so we give it one last side there. That got browned exactly how we want it. I'm gonna set that side in there real quick. We're gonna be a little over 145, but that's okay. We're gonna hit a little bit of lemon here right at the end. That's beautiful. And we're gonna go ahead and pull this off. And that is absolutely perfect there. All right, we just pulled it off. We let it rest for a minute. Comes right off the skin, which is great. Great color. And I already know it's gonna be a great flavor. Here we go. That's incredible. Cooks so fast in your pan at home. The seasoning, like I said, it's a little salt, it's a little sweet, it has dill in it, has just enough herbs in it, but just enough salt and pepper to bring out all the flavor. Yeah, it's, you know, this is something that I think a lot of people will eat out at a restaurant, but are, I know I said it earlier, I'll say it again, too intimidated to cook at home. There's no reason to be intimidated. This is easy as cooking chicken or burgers. It's so tasty. And from here, you could add this to rice, add this to pasta, add a green vegetable with it. There's so many things you can do with it here. I kept this simple just to show you the simpleness of just cooking the salmon. Really, really tasty.